Ducktales, the classic 1989 video game based on the 1987 Disney television series. And it was one of the NES games that just blew everybody's minds with how amazing it was on its exploration. However, has anyone tried to beat it without killing enemies? Well, that's what I'm going to be attempting today. The rules are just simple. I have to try and beat the whole entire game without any enemies being killed by me. So, let's start this. We start our journey off in the Amazon rainforest in South America, where we must help Scrooge McDuck find the old Incan tribe leader's staff. We start off with some gorillas, but they're pretty easy to avoid. Let's be real. And we then come again to some killer plants that, again, are pretty simple. I got scared when I came to this part with the snake, though. However, if you break, because he likes to jump up, but if you break the block and then pogo jump over him, you are able to survive. However, I then open this chest getting an invincibility coin, which anything that hits me automatically dies. So you have to be really careful when doing this. However, you can make it. The rest of the level is honestly really fine, as long as you just try to your best to avoid the bees, and it's okay if you get hit by the bees, just don't kill them. But it's really not that hard to get past them. And really, you can honestly finish the Amazon stage off pretty quickly. And then, after taking the secret passage through the Incan temple, I can fight the Incan sentinel, get the Incan tribe member's staff, the Incan tribe leader's staff, and with that, the Amazon is done. Wow, I didn't expect this. It was pretty easy so far. I'm actually starting to get really high hopes for trying to beat this. So next we have Transylvania, which is in Romania. So at first, I got this invincibility coin, but I talked to Webby Vanderquack to let it wear off. But she told me Huey was captured by the Beagle Boys, and yeah, this is great. Because I think you have to kill the Beagle Boys in order to save Huey. But it turns out you could just jump over them. Or the one that has captured Huey. And then he tells us about the illusion wall, which I'm guessing can help us a lot. And there's also mirrors that can be used as portals to go through different parts of the mansion. But then I came to this mummy duck in a tight hallway. Yay! I can't just take the chain ball, or else it will kill the mummy duck. And I can't damage boost through him either. So I just decided to see if I could find an alternate exit somewhere in the mansion. I found this other little area. It was a small hallway with ghosts in it. And after going through there, I got to some other rooms, like a room with gravestones in it, ghosts, and skeleton ducks. But that was a pretty simple one to get through. Then I found a pole that brought me down. And this brought me to a long hallway with a spiky tree in it that I had to pogo jump through. And after pogo jumping through this, I found a room full of treasure and a mirror, which hypothetically, the mirror could actually take us somewhere after that mummy duck. So I thought my luck was turning around, and I went through the mirror, and it took me to the beginning of the level. Why you do this to me, Capcom? And there's no other way. I couldn't find anything else. But wait a minute, here's a twist. A few months ago, I made a video about the original Super Mario Brothers, and if it was possible to beat without killing enemies. And if you remember correctly, when I talked about the YouTuber named Mayro, who made a video on New Super Mario Bros. Wii about it, he said if the enemy falls off, it goes off screen, but comes back and respawns, it does not count as a death. And this could actually help us beat the level. You can call me picky, but I think that doesn't count as a death. And with that, we can beat the rest of the Transylvania stage pretty simply. Just have to go to the right portals, make sure no enemies get harmed, and we can fight Magica Dispel, and that way we beat Transylvania. Also, one thing I didn't specify earlier is that bosses do not count. It is impossible to beat it without killing the bosses. But so, we have to kill the bosses, but other than that, the rest of the enemies shouldn't be harmed. And yeah, after taking out Magica Dispel, we are able to beat Transylvania. Yay! Now that we know about that whole enemy respawning thing, it's time to go to the African mines. We do have these slugs we have to get past, but they're pretty easy. But then we meet Louis, who wants us to go back to Transylvania to get a skeleton key to get into the mine. However, it's really not that hard. There's like no enemies that stand in your way. After going back to this portal, you're able to get the skeleton key and you can head back to the African mines in order to proceed. We do have to do that beginning part with the slugs again, but it is pretty easy to get past. So don't worry about it at all. Sure, there are bats in this stage that are really hard to avoid sometimes and can get really annoying as they drop down and then get knocked out and then try and go back to killing you again. Jeez, why you gotta be so hostile, guys? However, then I realized something. This place over here, where Mrs. Beakley is, has these green ducks you have to jump on to get quick to the end of the level faster. But again, we can't kill them. But thankfully, that was just a secret way to get to the end of the level. We can beat the level in a different way. We can come to this illusion wall, get an extra life, and then we can drop down from a chain into another room full of giant chomping killer plants. Sounds like Mario. Okay, I'm sorry. But then we come to this other warrior area with the green ducks I was talking about earlier. And usually you have to jump across without killing them. And after some careful moves, I actually was able to get past them. I was able to survive all these tragedies, but then I couldn't make this one jump, and I had to kill him. But after putting him off screen and going back, he did respawn, thankfully. So he's not dead. Don't worry. I keep forgetting about that. Now that I think about it, we actually could have beaten the level easily before if we just saw if they respawned. Why do I do this to myself? And yeah, that's it for the African mines. After taking out the Terra Firmian King, we can beat this level pretty easily, and I'm glad. Next we come to the Himalaya mountain range in Asia. And we do have some killer bunnies and killer goats we have to avoid, but they're not that hard to especially when most of the stage you can't use the pogo jump in this stage unless you're jumping on an enemy, because if you try to jump it in the snow, you'll just fall into the snow. However, really early on, you find a pole going into the snow, and you can climb on it, only to have it drop you into an ice cave. Whee! I missed this move here and I fell deep. But instead of going back, I just decided to save Bubba the cave duck because I was just feeling that extra generous. However, this did kind of make it hard. There were some spiders and bunnies that got into my way. And I was scared for this part right here where the bunny was, because usually an invincibility coin spawns if you jump in a certain spot. But I was able to survive it. It did take me a little while just because I had to get past these icicles, and usually I get past the icicles using invincibility coin, but I just saved Bubba the cave duck from being frozen. He gives me some treasures, and I can go and finish the rest of the level. There were some hockey ducks I had to face off, but actually, this has been the simplest one yet. And after taking out the evil abominable snowman, we have beaten the Himalayas. Wow. And next we have the moon, aka the level with the amazing music that you guys probably know from memes. But anyway, we have to find the great green moon cheese of the moon by breaking into an alien UFO. We have to explore it a little bit to find a key into a room into the UFO that'll have a little radio that Gizmo Duck can use. It helps put into Gizmo Duck's suit somehow, and then it helps him explode a wall that gets into the center of the moon. Look, I don't know. I couldn't really figure out how to get through here, but I could just break these rocks, which is something I'm glad I know now. I just went back a little bit, and then I kind of got stuck by this part with these octopus dudes. At first I couldn't get through them, but it turns out I just had low health, and so I just got killed and then damage boosted through them after. Then letting Gizmo Duck break through the wall, getting into the center of the moon, passing the Beagle Boys, and fighting the giant killer moon rat. And after that, getting the green moon cheese. Yay! And wow, look at that! We did it! We got all 5 treasures. We did it! Wait. What's this? Oh, great. My treasures were stolen by Flintheart, Glomgold, and Magica Dispel. Great. So then we go back to Transylvania. But the level is a joke. It's the same Transylvania thing again. And we get that whole respawning thing. We then fight Dracula Duck, defeat him, and then we have to race to the top of a tower against Flintheart, Glomgold, and Magica Dispel. But after beating them, we get the treasures. Now, I did kind of get concerned about killing these bats to get on top of Dracula Duck, but I didn't see those kind of bats anywhere else in the game, so I'm just going to say they don't count. But I'm not really that sure. So, is it possible to beat the original Ducktales video game without killing an enemy? Well, yes. If you don't count that whole respawning thing, then no. But if you do, it is possible. Anyways, that's going to be it for the end of this challenge video. Also, how do you think it will go if we do DuckTales 2? I'm kind of curious. So, let's try it out next time. I'll see you guys soon. Bye!